There is a rule in many African villages. A rule so important that even the bravest men refuse to break it. If you hear your name being called in the dead of night, do not answer. Not even once. Because the voice calling you may not belong to the living. And those who forget this rule are never quite the same again. Tonight, I'll tell you the story of a young man who didn't listen. In a quiet village surrounded by thick forest and ancient trees, lived a young man named Obinna. Obinna was known for many things. He was strong. He was fearless. And most importantly, he did not believe in spirits. While the elders spoke in hushed tones about curses and unseen forces, Obinna would laugh. Stories to scare children, he would say. Even when his own mother warned him, there are things in this world we do not understand. He would only smile. Because Obinna believed that fear was for the weak. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the village gathered around a fire. The elders had called for a meeting. An old man, his voice dry and trembling, spoke. The spirits are restless. The fire crackled. For 3 nights now, voices have been heard in the dark. A murmur spread across the crowd. They call your name in the voice of someone you trust. Silence. And if you answer, he paused. They will take something from you. Obinna rolled his eyes. What nonsense. But the old man continued. From tonight onward, no one must respond to any voice after midnight. No matter what you hear. The villagers nodded. But Obinna. He leaned back and whispered to his friend. I believe it when I see it. That night, the village was unusually quiet. No drums. No laughter. No movement. Only the sound of the wind brushing through the trees. Obinna lay in his hut, staring at the ceiling. Midnight came. Nothing happened. He smirked. Just stories. But then, a voice. Soft. Familiar. Obinna. He froze. The voice came again. Obinna, come outside. It was his mother's voice. Clear. Gentle. Loving. He sat up slowly. His heart began to beat faster. But something felt wrong. His mother had gone to sleep hours ago. And her hut was on the other side of the compound. Yet the voice sounded like it was right outside his door. Obinna. A pause. Why are you ignoring me? His hand moved toward the door. Then he remembered the warning. Do not answer. He clenched his fist. And said nothing. The voice lingered for a few seconds. Then faded. Silence returned. Obinna lay back down. But sleep did not come easily. The next day, the village was tense. 2 people had fallen ill. They spoke of hearing voices. And responding. Obinna began to feel uneasy. But he refused to admit fear. That night. Midnight came again. This time, the voice was different. Obinna. It was his best friend, Chike. Urgent. Panicked. Obinna, please. I need your help. Obinna jumped up. Chike sounded terrified. Obinna. They are chasing me. His heart raced. This felt real. Too real. Every instinct in him screamed to respond. To open the door. To help his friend. Obinna, answer me. Silence. He hesitated. Then. He spoke. Chike. Where are you? The moment the words left his mouth, everything changed. The air grew cold. The voice stopped. And for a brief second, there was nothing. Then came a sound. Not human. A low, distorted whisper. Right behind him. You answered. Obinna turned slowly. But there was nothing there. Only darkness. From that moment on, Obina was not alone. He began to notice things. Shadows moving when they shouldn't. Whispers in empty spaces. Footsteps following him. At night, he could hear breathing. Right next to his ear. But when he turned, nothing. His reflection in water. Sometimes moved even when he didn't. And worst of all, the voice returned. Every night. Calling him. Mocking him. You shouldn't have answered. He stopped sleeping. Stopped eating. The villagers began to avoid him. Because they could feel it too. Something was attached to him. Something dark. Desperate, Obina went to the old man. The same elder who had given the warning. I made a mistake, he said. The old man looked at him with sad eyes. Yes, you did. Help me, Obina begged. The old man shook his head slowly. When you answered, you gave it permission. Obina's voice trembled. Permission for what? The old man leaned closer. To follow you. Silence. And it will not stop until it takes what it came for. What does it want? The old man whispered. Your voice, your spirit, your place among the living. That night. The voice came again. But this time, it didn't call from outside. It came from within the room. Obina. He didn't respond. He couldn't. Obina. Closer. Then suddenly, it spoke in his own voice. Perfectly. Obina opened the door. His eyes widened. Because he hadn't spoken. The door creaked open slowly. And for the first time, Obina saw it. A shadow. Shaped like a man. But wrong. Twisted. Smiling. And then, everything went silent. The next morning, the villagers found Obina sitting outside his hut. Alive. But different. He no longer spoke. No matter how much they begged. No matter what they tried. It was as if his voice had been taken. And sometimes, late at night, when the village is quiet, people say they can still hear a voice. Calling from the darkness. Using Obina's voice. Calling someone else's name. So remember this. If you ever hear your name being called in the dead of night, no matter how familiar the voice sounds, no matter how real it feels, do not answer. Because some voices are not meant to be answered. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more dark African folklore. And tell me in the comments, what would you have done if you were Obina? Would you have stayed silent? Or answered?